In last week's video, I showed you the USD system in Davinci Resolve 18.5, and I ended up making this.
It all bowling, guess I roll funny. Go find me a snow bunny, ask if this cold.
And while this looked really good, there was a problem. There's no shadows. I said this in the last video. The USD system, Davinci Resolve 18.5 itself, is still in beta, and the USD system is not perfect. There's no way to create a shadow catcher right now. But I'm never one to turn down a challenge, so I spent the last week playing around and tweaking things and all of that stuff, and I eventually came out with this.
It all bowling, guess I roll funny. Go find me a snow bunny, ask if this cold.
I know it basically looks the same, but look again, look closer, look at the feet, look at the background. We now have shadows. Now in a second, we're gonna dive into Davinci Resolve 18.5. I'm gonna show you exactly how I created the shadows in that little scene. But first, I just wanna say that this is only going to make sense if you watched last week's video. That'll be linked below. It'll be linked up here somewhere at some point, and it'll also be linked in the end screen. So make sure that you watch that video and then watch this one so it all makes sense. Okay, let's jump into Davinci Resolve. Okay, so we're in the Fusion page in Davinci Resolve, and I've already placed my 3D model in the scene and tracked it with the scene. If you, again, want to know how I did this, you need to check out my last video, which will be linked in the description of this one. But for a quick overview, I've got my tracker, I've got a color corrector, and then I've got all of my USD nodes, which is a renderer, a merge, a camera, a light, a transform, and the U loader, which is what brings in the actual 3D model. So I've already color corrected this model, and I've already added some depth blur to help blend the model in with this scene. So now what I want to do is add some shadows. I want some shadows down on the ground to show the feet connecting with the ground, and also I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow in the background to help sell it a little bit more. So first, let's work on the shadows on the ground. The first thing that we're going to need to do is create an instance copy of our tracker. For those of you who don't know what instance nodes are, they're basically copies of nodes that whenever you change a setting in one of them, it changes it in all of the copies. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on here and hit copy, and then we're going to come over, we're going to right click, hit paste instance, and you'll see this green line right here. That means that these two nodes are connected, and any setting that we change in the tracker will change in the instance, and vice versa. Now we need to connect this to our scene. So we'll break this connection right here. We'll just bring this down, and we'll connect media in to our instance tracker, and our instance tracker to our original tracker. Next thing we're gonna do is select our color corrector and our renderer and all of our USD nodes, and we're going to copy them. So I'll hit Control C on my keyboard, going to deselect all of the nodes. I'm going to hit Control V, and I'm going to connect my color corrector to my instance tracker. And at first it looks like nothing happened here, but if we select our transform in our new group and we just play around with, let's say, X rotation. Oh, look at that. We've got ourselves a little shadow here. And if we play that back, we'll see that the little, it almost looks like a reflection, but it's moving along with the feet of our original model. So all we really need to do here is play around with our rotation and our position and all of that stuff until it kind of matches up a little. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play around with the rotation just a little bit more. And it's not a perfect mirror, but that's okay because we're going to fix that with our color corrector. So now it's time to make this look like a shadow. Let's go ahead and select our color corrector here. We're going to bring our saturation all the way down. We're going to bring our brightness all the way down, and now it's just a black shadow. In order to make this look a little bit more natural, we're going to hit Shift Space on our keyboard. We're going to add a blur node. So we'll type in blur and we'll choose blur and select add. And then we can increase our blur size. And from there, we can hit our instance tracker node. We can come into our settings. And first thing we're going to do is right click on blend and click on de-instance. That way we can change our blend without affecting the other tracker's blend. So now that we've de-instanced that, we can bring our blend down. And if we come back to our blur, we can blur it a little bit more. And now if we play that back, we've got shadows moving with the feet of our 3D model. And now that we've done that, we can move on to our shadow in the background. So let's go ahead. Once again, we'll select our original tracker. We're going to hit Control C on our keyboard to copy, and then we're going to deselect all of our nodes, right click and hit instance. And now we've got another instance tracker node. Let's go ahead and break this connection right here, and we'll connect media in to our second instance tracker node and our second instance tracker node to our first instance tracker node. Then once again, we will copy our original 3D model build out here, deselect everything, paste, and we'll connect our color corrector with our second instance tracker node. Now let's grab our transform node, and we're just going to play around with the position a little bit until it looks like it's in the spot that a shadow would be on the wall. And I'm trying to kind of match it up here with this shadow. Okay, we'll start with that. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy our blur. We'll paste an instance of our blur, and then we're going to connect this color corrector here with our instance blur and our instance blur with our second instance tracker. And now you see we just kind of got this blurry mess here. But if we go into our color corrector here and we once again bring the saturation down and the brightness down, and then come into our second instance tracker, and we will once again go to settings and de-instance our blend. We can bring our blend down, make a subtle shadow there, come back into our color corrector, bring our lift up just a little bit, play that back, and we've got ourselves a little bit of a shadow in the background that's moving along with our dancing 3D model. And from there, we can do our color grade just like we normally would. And in the end, we've got this.
With all bowling, guess I roll funny. Go find me a snow bunny, ask if this cold.
So while there is still no official shadow catcher in the USD system in Davinci Resolve 18.5, hopefully it's coming. And in the meantime, doing some creative tracking and some copying and pasting and color correcting and blurring and all that stuff, you can actually create some relatively realistic looking shadows. Again, if you missed the video where I put this 3D model into this scene in the first place, make sure you check that out by clicking right here. And until next time, don't forget to go out and make stuff. Thanks for watching.